So we need to avoid grabbing. The way to avoid linearly scanning the text for each query is to index the documents in advance. And the way to avoid linearly scanning the text, that is grabbing, is to index the documents in advance. Let us stick with Shakespeare's collected works. Let us take this example of Shakespeare's collected works and use it to introduce the basics of the Boolean retrieval model. And we will use this example to introduce the basics of Boolean retrieval model. Suppose we record for each document here a play of Shakespeare's, whether it contains each word out of all the words Shakespeare used. So we want to record for each document if it contains each word. For each document if it contains each word out of all the words. Suppose we record for each document whether it contains each word out of all the words Shakespeare used. Shakespeare used about 32,000 different words. So for all those words, for, for each document, if it contains each word out of all the words Shakespeare used, that means we need to create a table. The result is a binary term document incidence matrix, as in figure 1.1. This is figure 1.1, a term document incidence matrix. The the column on the left hand side, these are the terms, and these are the documents. Since these are the documents, these are the terms, it is called term document incidence matrix. This is a term document incidence matrix. It contains only zeros, either zeros or ones. That means it is a binary term document incidence matrix. We call it incidence matrix because it tells us about the intersection, that means incidence, of the terms in the documents. That means which term occurs in which document. Matrix element TD, that means this particular element TD is 1 if it is 1. It is 1 if the play in column D. The play in column D contains the word in row T and is 0 otherwise if it does not contain the word in row T. So the result is a binary term document incidence matrix. Suppose we record for each document here a play of Shakespeare's, whether it contains each word out of all the words Shakespeare used. Shakespeare used about 32,000 different words. The result is a binary term document incidence matrix, as in figure 1.1. Terms are the indexed units further discussed in section 2.2. They are usually words, and for the moment you can think of them as words. But the information retrieval literature normally speaks of terms because some of them, perhaps, such as perhaps I9 or Hong Kong, are not usually thought of as words. We can call these on the left hand side, Antony, Brutus, Caesar, Alpunia, we can call them as words, but they are terms because I9 or Hong Kong, they are not words, they are two words. I-9 we can't call it a word, so we call it as a term. So information literature normally speaks of terms, not words, but we can think of them for now as words. but they are terms. Now, depending on whether we look at the matrix rows or columns, we can have a vector for each term, which shows the documents it appears in, or a vector for each document, which shows the terms that occur in it. Since this is a matrix of ones and zeros, since it is a term document incidence matrix, so it is a matrix, we can apply transpose operations on it. And also in a matrix, the vertical part gives us vectors. These are vectors. And in particular, they are document vectors. And the document vectors will tell us what all terms appear in that document. So this tells us that Antony appears in Antony and Cleopatra play. Brutus appears in Antony and Cleopatra play. Caesar appears in Antony and Cleopatra play. But Calpurnia doesn't appear. Similarly, we can apply transpose operations in this matrix and we can get the term vectors. This is a term vector. This is a term vector and it gives us in which of the documents that particular term appears. For example, Antony appears in Antony and Cleopatra, in Julius Caesar, and in Macbeth, but not in The Tempest, Hamlet, Othello. Now, depending on whether we look at the matrix rows or columns, we can have a vector for each term which shows the documents it appears in, or a vector for each document that shows the terms that occur in it.